reading The Last Barrier by Reshad Feilds. He calls it a Sufi journey. Played in Turkey largely with him and Hamid, his teacher, and I finished chapter 11 already, but here is an epilogue. By first one is Mevlana Yelalulu. Reason is powerless in the expression of love. Love alone is capable of revealing the truth of love and being a lover. The way of our prophets is the way of truth. If you want to live, die in love. Die in love of if you want to remain alive. And the second quote is by Abdul Qadir Gilani. When he has renounced the world so that he does not take to it on account of his own desire, nor in the compliance with the commandment of God, he is then commanded to talk to the world and establish contact with it, because now there is a portion for him in it which cannot be discarded, which has not been created for any led down to the sea. It had been hot all day and we had spent the early morning. Now the afternoon breeze had come up, rustling the dry leaves, moved mid-afternoon spirals around my feet. The citara sang, a continuous whir that made me think of the hills above Ephesus. I could sense where the sea washed, where she would be now, lying out in the sun with the others. Hamid and I had walked here from the beach to spend our last time alone together before my return to London. We had spoken little, content with the dry, lazy sound of the afternoon. Finally he turned to me. "There's one more lesson I wish to pass on to you," he said. In some ways it's the most important of all. But if you did not already know what I'm going to tell you, then you would not be able to hear what I have to say. Abruptly, his manner changed once again. He became the teacher and I, the pupil. "Sit up straight," he commanded. "Your back must be straight, so that the energy can flow freely. Without good flow, your understanding will be only partial. Words by themselves are just veils over the truth. If you are not awake, all you will have done is to separate yourself again. Understanding does not come from the senses. Understanding comes from itself. It is the overflowing of knowledge which is given as an act of grace for which we must. Today we are going together to meet the perfect man, the master, who has come to love God so perfectly that God's attributes pour out through him into the world with no veil between. So far in our talks and practices, we have been involved only with the work that is necessary to do on oneself to prepare for the journey. Today you will have a taste of the work to come. Be very still, your back straight, your breathing relaxed. Choose the finest quality of air you can in the space around you. Draw it deep inside yourself. Hold it for a moment, and then let it radiate from the center as light. Now, close your eyes and withdraw your senses from the outer world. The initiation you are going to take is dangerous. There are many pitfalls on the way, and you must trust me absolutely. If you do not trust, if you lose courage, then I cannot help you, and we may both fail to reach our destination. It is extremely important that you listen to my words and do what I tell you immediately. Don't hesitate, don't falter, and remember, trust. How many times had he said that to me? Once I had thought that I knew what trust was, but then the tests began, and I knew the meaning of failure to trust again and again. It needs so much surrender and so much courage to be able to trust absolutely. I want you to imagine that you are walking along a path in a valley. In front of you is a mountain. Near the summit, sitting outside a cave, the perfect master awaits you. You are walking up the path, aware with every step to the earth under your feet. The earth is warm. Take off your shoes so you can feel it more easily. Be aware of the deep grass on either side of you. Can you see the butterflies feeding on the nectar of the wild flowers? And hear the insects? Observe carefully. What do you notice as you walk? Now you see that the path starts to ascend the mountain. It is a steep path, but you must leave the valley behind and start to climb. I became aware of the change as I left the valley behind. The feeling was different. All around me, pine trees pointed to the sky, each one trying to reach the light. It was dark in the forest. No sun filtered through the trees. The windsong of the branches was then I heard Hamid's voice once more. Keep walking. You have a long way to go. Do not turn back now. I walked on up the path. After a little while I heard the sound of water to my left. Turning in that direction, I came upon a series of waterfalls, cascading over enormous grey stones. At the bottom, a deep whirlpool was formed, a rushing spiral that drew everything into itself, and then spun it out in brilliant streams that rushed in and out of the rocks, forming more eddies and whirlpools. I sat and rested for a moment, watching and listening. Suddenly I became aware that the water was alive. Each bubble in them released a subtle form as it burst. Each stream and eddy called out, "Look, do you see who I am? Can you hear my voices?" I saw that the water was observing me. I was not looking at it, but rather, as I realized that it could see me, I recognized what it was and what it was saying. I wondered how I could have spent my life looking at the elements and never allowing myself to be seen, never reversing the space. Hamid spoke once again. Be careful. What you see can lead you astray, for it will want to take you into itself. You've seen so that you may understand, and eventually gain mastery of certain aspects of energy. That is all. Now breathe deeply, feel yourself purified by the elements of water. Be washed through and let us go on. And I will stop this here because I've changed room and it seems that that the signal is not so reliable. Today is the 27th of July, 2025.